much the same way we always do in these mat classes, flat on our back. And we're going to start with a little bit of breath. So just get yourself nice and situated. Feet are planted on the floor. You're going to do some big inhales and exhales. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And repeat. Inhale. And exhale. And as you cycle through this breath, feel your shoulders drop down to the floor. Feel your hips and your tailbone be really heavy on the ground. With every exhale, you want to make sure you're pulling your core in tight around your spine, like you're trying to cinch your core in and up. Let's go for 2 more big breaths. And last one. On your next inhale, reach the arms long and up towards the ceiling. Exhale, press your arms long and low to the hips. Repeat, inhale up. Exhale, press long and low. And as you cycle through this, you want to feel the back muscles engaging so that it's like you're dragging your arms down to the floor and then dragging up with your shoulders. Let's just go for 3 more. Just warm it up into the shoulder sockets. Last 2. Exhale, last one. Hold your arms long and low. Break them out wide to T position. Close them up towards the ceiling and then press them long and low. Inhale and then circle back up. So we're going into these arm circles. Keeping your core pulled inward. Careful not to arch your back off the floor. Let's go for 3. Lots of breath for last 2. Last one this direction. And let's reverse. We open the arms wide, zip them low to the hips. Inhale, reach up, and repeat. And you never want to let your arms get much higher than your shoulders. You pretty much want to keep them shoulder height or below. Let's go for 3. Pull your core in nice and tight. Don't forget about the core. Last 2. And last 1. Press your arms long and low down by your side, pressing your arms firm into the floor. Exhale, pull your right knee into tabletop. Tap that toe back down to the ground. Exhale, pull up. Inhale, tap down. You continue to cycle through this, making sure your hips stay really even on the floor. Make sure you're digging your left heel into the ground. Let's just go for 3. 2. Last 1. Pull that knee up and then lengthen the leg long and drag it in. And as you lengthen, I want you to squeeze your glute. Squeeze your glute to straighten. Pull your core into dragon. Squeeze the glute and pull in. Cycling through this. Inhale to extend. Exhale, drag back. We've got 3. And last 2. And last 1. Hold it out there. Flex the foot and give me little hip circles. Little itty bitty leg circles starting from your hip socket. Keeping the leg at 45 degrees for 3. 2. Switch directions. Woo! Quads, hips, and core should be feeling this one. Make sure the hips are level. We have 4. 3, 2, 1, pull that knee all the way back into your chest. Give yourself a little tug there. Pop that foot back on the floor and let's go to the other side. Point your left toe. Toe comes up into tabletop. Tap it down to the ground. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Exhale and inhale. And again, you want to make sure your hips are nice and steady on the floor. You can always opt to press your lower back into the ground. If your lower back is just feeling too much today, that's totally fine. It helps activate the abs. Let's go for 3. Inhale and last 2. Hold it up, last 1. And then we shoot the leg long and forward. drag it back in. Squeeze your glute forward, drag it back. Inhale. Feel that length from hip to toe, shooting towards the opposite side of the room. We have 2. Extend. Last one. Hold it out. Flex the foot. Little hip circles. Whew. We usually have one side that's a little bit easier to do than the other. This is definitely not my easier side. And switch directions. Keep your hips really steady on the floor. You can do it for 3, 2, 1, and pull that knee back in towards your chest. Give yourself a little tug. Whew, pop the feet in parallel. All right, for this next movement, we're doing just a very little pelvic tuck, which means you're gonna press your lower back into the floor. Squeeze your glutes a teeny bit and just kind of round your pelvis. And then you're gonna inhale, lengthen yourself out. Find that teeny bit of space under your lower back. And then we repeat. Exhale, squeeze the glutes, round the lower back. And then inhale to lengthen. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale, tuck the tailbone. Inhale. And you just continue to cycle through this, trying to keep everything from your belly button above really stable. So we're not shifting the neck, not the upper back. Let's keep going for 3 more. And last 2. And last 1. Exhale, lengthen back out. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, peel your head, neck, and shoulders up. Reach to the end of the mat. Inhale, lower back down, and repeat. Exhale, peel up. Inhale to lower. Trying to keep your tailbone on the floor, so you don't want to press your lower back into the ground. You want to try and lengthen out your spine as you lift up. Feel your shoulder blades try to pull down your back. Exhale. Inhale. We have last 3, and then we're going to build. Last 2. Hold it up, last 1. Hold it there. Take your left hand behind your head. On your exhale, start to pulse it forward. We're getting deeper into the obliques. Pulling the core in, keeping your hips really steady. We have 3, 2, 1, swap your hands out right behind the head, left is forward, pulse it forward. Getting deep into the core, feel that left oblique working. We have 4, 3, 2, 1, both hands behind the head. One leg at a time finds tabletop. Keep the chest uplifted, shoot your right leg long and forward. Drag it back in. Left leg long and forward. If at any point you need to drop the head, you absolutely can, but continue on with the legs. Let's go for 4 and 3. Last 2. Get ready, hold it out, last 1, and now you switch, switch, switch. Lots of tension in the core. Keep it held for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull your knees back into your chest. Oh my goodness. Hello, abs. Rock side to side for a moment. Beautiful job. All right, now that we've got a little warmed up in the core going on, plant your feet back down onto the floor. Feet are going to be in parallel, in line with your sits bones. So they're a little more narrow than you think they are. Press your arms down to the floor. Roll your shoulders back. And on your exhale, dig your feet into the ground. Roll your hips up to the ceiling, 1 vertebrae at a time. Squeezing the glutes, pulling your core in and up. And then exhale, roll back down to the floor from your upper back to the middle back, to the lower back. Your tailbone touches down, you lengthen out. And then you exhale, repeat. Dig your feet down. Squeeze your glutes. Roll your hips up, up, up. Check in with your hips. Make sure they're nice and even. And then roll yourself back down, 1 vertebrae at a time. Pulling your core in. lengthen out, and then exhale, repeat. Digging your feet into the floor, get those glutes active. Imagine I'm pulling your spine to the opposite side of the room as you roll back down, one vertebrae at a time. And 2 more, exhale. Squeezing the glutes, the hamstrings, lifting up, up, up. Exhale, roll down, making sure your knees are still in parallel. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, rolling up, squeeze the glutes, roll up, 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 up. Press your arms down into the floor. Keep your hips uplifted. Inhale, reach up overhead. Exhale, press long and low. Inhale and reach. Exhale to press. Keep the hips high. You can do it. We inhale and exhale. Stay with it. Inhale and exhale. Keep the hips up for 4. Keep the core pulled in for 3. And last 2. Last 1. Press the arms long and low. Roll yourself back down, 1 vertebrae at a time. Keep your hands glued down to the floor. Lengthen out your spine. Pull your right knee into tabletop and bring your left up to meet it. So we're starting here in this beautiful tabletop. Again, you have an option to tuck your tailbone if you want to press your lower back into the floor. On your inhale, you're going to shoot the right leg long and forward. Loop it out to the side, up to the ceiling, bring it back into tabletop. Left leg goes long and forward. Loop it out to the side, up to the ceiling, and then we repeat. Leg is long and forward, loop it out. So we're basically just making these big circles, almost like a figure 8 between our right and left leg. Shoot it forward, loop it around, back to tabletop. And every time you cycle through this, I want you to focus on keeping your hip bones really steady on the floor. Even if it means you can't make the circle as big as you want to, that's totally fine. Let's go for 3, last 2, and last 1. Pull the knees together, and now we switch directions. Right knee comes out, you lift up to the side, down, pull in. Leg lifts up, side, down, pull in. Leg lifts up, and side, in, leg lifts up, and side, in. Let's do last 4. Keeping your hips steady on the floor, last 3. Cycling through this, last 2. Pulling the lower abs in, last 1. And pull the knees into your chest. Give yourself a little tug, rock side to side. I'm sure you felt a lot in the core, a lot in the hips. Pop your feet back down to parallel. I want you to bring the heels of your feet together, your toes apart, so that you come to little butterfly or little Pilates V. So, knees are going to be slightly wider than the hips. Press your arms down by your side. Keep your heels together. As you exhale, squeeze the glutes. Roll your hips up, 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 up. Get really deep into those side glutes. And then exhale, roll yourself back down, 1 vertebrae at a time, pulling your core in, lengthen out, and then exhale, repeat. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze your heels together, roll yourself up, 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 and then roll yourself back down again, 1 vertebrae at a time. Inhale, press your arms down to the floor. You can do it. Activate the lat muscles. Activate your upper back. Continue to keep your knees really steady. You don't want to let them fall together and knock apart. And roll back down. We're going to go for 2 more. Exhale. Lifting the hips up high. Make sure they're even. We've got last 1. Exhale, hold the hips uplifted. Now squeeze your heels together so much as you peel your heels up off the floor. And then just lower the heels back down. Peel the heels up off the floor. Just lower the heels back down. Continue to squeeze your glutes. We should be getting a little bit more in the calves now. Let's go for 4. Keep those hips high. Last 3. And last 2. And last 1. Lower the heels, roll yourself back down to the floor, 1 vertebrae at a time. Bring your knees to parallel and then lengthen out to the end of the mat. Beautiful job, guys. All right, take your toes a touch wider than your hips. Legs are gonna be nice and long. You're gonna inhale, reach the arms up overhead. On your exhale, swoop your body forward, reach long and forward towards the end of your mat. Reach for the toes, take the stretch, lengthen up, 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 up. And then tuck your tailbone, roll back down. Inhale and repeat. Exhale, swoop. And then sit up nice and tall, lengthen the spine, pull the core in and up, tuck your tailbone, roll down super slowly, and then inhale and exhale. And I won't lie, I cue roll up a lot better when I'm not doing it, so I'm gonna stop and you guys are gonna continue on. You wanna lengthen your spine super long across the floor. Exhale, swoop your body upward, reach for your toes, bend your knees if you need to, if like your hamstrings are too tight, and then you sit up nice and tall, and then tuck your tailbone and roll back down. Keep going, reaching, 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 pull your core in, shoulders drop down away from the ears, lengthen your spine up, tuck the tailbone, roll back down again, inhale, and exhale. Last one, hold it forward. Like I said, bend the knees if you need to, that's totally fine. Hold it forward as you breathe. You drop your head, your neck, your shoulders. You take this big stretch. You can point your toes or flex your feet, whatever makes you feel more comfortable. Roll yourself up to a seated position. And then you guys are going to set yourself up with your hands behind your bum. You're going to put your feet in parallel. Lift up through the core, lift up through your chest. Dig your heels into the floor and exhale, lift your hips as high as you can. Inhale to lower back down and repeat. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower back down. Open up the shoulders. Exhale to lift. And inhale, pull your lower abs in. Let's do 2 more. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower back down. Get ready, last one. Hold it up here. Hold it up here. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Lower your hips down halfway. Pull your right knee into tabletop and start to pulse. Single leg glute pulse. Oh my goodness. Your glutes are gonna love me for this. Keep uplifted on your arms. You can do it for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower that foot back down. Switch sides. We dip and pulse. Making sure both your hips stay super even. You're lifting up through the chest. Don't collapse. We've got 4, 3, 2, 1. Both feet come down. Lower the hips. Come off your wrists. Woo, shake it out. Beautiful job, guys. All right, we're going to leave your wrists alone for a second. We're going to come back to that for a moment. But first, let's take some Genie Arms, wrapping your hands around your elbows. Roll your shoulders down your back. Pull your core in and up so your spine is in one long line. Exhale, tuck your tailbone. Start to roll yourself back almost into like a little curl. And then curl your body back forward. Hold this C curve. Pull the abs in. And then lengthen up at the top of the movement. So what I don't want to see happening is this. I don't want you to like totally collapse your chest. I want you to tuck the tailbone, squeeze your lower abs, pull the core in, and then curl your body back forward, pulling the core in, lengthen up. And repeat. Exhale. Tuck the tailbone. Shoulders drop down away from the ears. Lengthen up. 3 more. Exhale. Curl your abs inward. Pull, pull, pull. lengthen up. 2 more. Tuck the tailbone. Knees stay parallel. Don't let them knock to the side. Last one. Tuck the tailbone. And curl your body back forward. Sit up nice and tall, 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 tall. Reach the arms long and forward. Inhale, open. Exhale, drag together. Inhale and exhale. What I don't want to see is any of this happening. We're not jutting our chin forward. The spine stays super long. You pull the core in and up. We have 3. Exhale, 2. And last one. Reach the arms forward. Place them down, back behind you. If you want to take this up to your knuckles, you can absolutely do that as well. But we're going to set your feet up in parallel again. You're going to squeeze your hips up, lifting them up as high as you can. Open the chest. Lengthen your right leg long towards the end of the mat. Pull the core in as you lift to tabletop. Lower down. Lift to tabletop height. Lower down. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Let's go for 3. Keep the hips uplifted. 2. Last one, bend the knee, lower that foot down, switch sides. We've got left leg long as you lift. Keep the hips uplifted, dig your right foot into the floor. We have last 4 and 3, arms are strong, last 2. Last one, lower that foot down, bring your hips to the floor, find a quick butterfly stretch. Whew, that one gets to me every time. Nose to your toes as you work here. Just sinking down into it. Roll yourself back up to a seated position, and you're going to roll yourself around so that you come to an all-fours position. Alrighty, so all fours is hands and knees. If your wrists are feeling way too much from that last round, you can always take your fists to the floor instead. That's totally fine. But we're going to go into a little bit of cat-cow. So in this cat-cow, you're always going to start leading with the bottom of your spine. Arcing through, and then flipping your tailbone the opposite direction. Letting your back arch as the eyes come forward. And then exhale. Tucking the tailbone. Hollow out your lower abs. And then inhale. Flipping the tailbone the opposite direction, pull your core in. And then repeat, exhale. And inhale. Pulling the shoulders down away from your ears as you work here, exhale. We're going to go for 2 more. And inhale, lengthen up the spine, articulate up your back. And last one, exhale. And inhale. Pull the core in, find a nice neutral spine. Hold it here, shoulders right underneath, shoulders right over your wrists, knees right under your hips. Breathe there as you inhale, reach the right arm long and forward. Tap it back down. Left arm's long and forward. Tap it down. Continue to pull your core in and up like you're trying to lift off of the floor. So you really could take a decent amount of pressure off your wrists if your core is active enough. Let's go for another 4 and 3. Last 2. Last 1. Lower back down. Bring your elbows down to the floor. Let me get all of my hair out of my face. Elbows are down on the floor, hands together or palms apart. Walk one foot back. Bring your other foot back and find yourself in a nice low plank position. Pull the lower abs in here. Shoulders pull down away from the ears. On your exhale, you're sending your butt back to the sky. Head comes in between the elbows, look towards your toes. And then pull your body back forward. Lead with your elbows. Your elbows press you away. Your spine stays long. And then your elbows drag you back forward. Spine stays long. Elbows press you away, your hips come up. And then elbows drag you back forward, squeeze your glutes. Let's go for 3 more. Inhale. And last 2. Inhale. And last one. Inhale. Hold it forward. Bring yourself into this lovely low plank. Breathe here for 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the knees. Send yourself back into child's pose. Beautiful job. Breathe here for me. Walk your hands over to the right side of the mat. Staying in this child's pose, just getting a nice little bit of lateral flexion here. Walk yourself over to the left side of the mat. And then walk yourself back forward. We're going to go into a fun one. So send yourself back up into a full high plank position. Starting in this really, really strong center. On your exhale, you're going to straight leg, shuffle your toes towards your right hand. Getting a little twist in the waistline. And then walk your feet back to this lovely high plank position. Then we go left. Walk your feet, straight leg towards the left palm. And then walk yourself back. So as you work through this, you want to feel this little twist in your waistline. Walking back out again. Inhale. Exhale, twist through the waistline. Walk yourself back out again. We're going to do 1 more per side. Twist through the waistline. Eyes come to your toes and then in between your hands. Last one, twist. Walk it up, up, up. Walk your feet back down again. Find your high plank for 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the knees and sit back. Beautiful. Roll the shoulders back. Take your palms behind you and interlace your fingers. Pull your hands backward, open the chest. Pull your core in as you start to arc your back slightly up to the ceiling. And then exhale, pull back forward. And then repeat, pull the core in as you arc up slightly. And then pull the core forward. Let's go for 2 more. Arcing up, up, up. And then you release. Pull the arms back as you arc up, 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 up. And then release. Beautiful. Roll the shoulders back. And let's go ahead and come down to a side lying position. So for the sake of uniformity, if we all start with our left side down, right side up, that would be lovely. You're going to stack the knees and ankles for me. Pull the core in and up, almost like you're trying to lift your core up off the floor. Knees are stacked, hips are stacked, and we're going to start super simple today with a clam shell. Flexing the feet, knee comes up to the ceiling, heels stay together, and then lower back down all the way. Exhale and inhale. And your goal here is to keep this really side glute oriented. Oriented. Lift that knee, feel that outer glute working. Pull the core in and up. Super technical here for a very small movement. Let's go for another 4 and 3. Pull your core back in, 2. And last one, lower it down. And now we go heel up, knees stay together. As you cycle through this, think about connecting the inner thighs as you raise this ankle up. And again, you don't want to make this about the hip. You don't want to scrunch your hip forward in order to make your heel get higher. Just come as high as you can. We're going to go for another 4. Nice and controlled, 3. Last 2. Last 1. Lower it down and bring that top leg up to parallel. Lower it back down and bring that top leg up. Lower it back down and straight up, making sure the knee and ankle are moving at the same height. Pulling the core in. staying stacked on your side so that you're not rotating forward or back. Let's go for another 3. Beautiful. Last 2. Almost there. Last one. Hold it up. Tap the toe forward down to the ground. Pull it back. Tap the toe backward. Tap the toe forward to the ground. Lift up through hip height and then tap it back. And you want to be conscious that you're not arching your lower back here. Keep this movement really about your glute. Let's go for another 4. And 3. Last 2. Last 1. Pull that knee through center. Inhale, shoot your leg long and away. Exhale, drag it back in. Inhale, shoot it long and away. Exhale, drag it back in. Keep going. Imagine you are pushing against the floor. You're exhaling, squeezing the glute, and then dragging back in. Exhale, squeeze the glute, drag it back in. Keep that knee at hip height. Don't let it droop. We're going to go for another 3. Drag it back in. Last 2. Almost there. Last one. Lengthen, lengthen. Hold it long for me. Start to lift and lower. Lift and lower. Be careful that you're not rolling back onto your hip just to get your leg higher. Exhale. Let's go for 4. Keep the side of your body really long. Last 2. And 1. Lower back down and tap that glute out. Beautiful job, guys. All right. Let's go ahead and have you all flip around to the opposite side. Whole series again on the opposite side. Pulling the core in. And we're going to go ahead and clam shell. Making sure the knees and ankles are stacked as you work here. Keep it going. Good. And check in with your obliques every once in a while. Make sure your ribs are lifting up off the floor. We're going to go for 3. Squeeze your heels together. And last one, lower the knee back down. And now we take that heel up and lower. Up and lower. And again, not worrying about how high you can make your heel. Just worry about really getting into those internal rotators in your side glute. Exhale and exhale. We're going to go for another 4 and 3. Last 2. Last 1. Lower back down. Now we parallel lift and lower back down. And parallel lift and lower. Keep going. Exhale. Making sure you're moving your knee and ankle through the same plane, so it's not drooping on one side or the other. Get a really good lift through that leg. Lower back down. We're going to go for 3. Lots of breath. 2. And last 1. Hold it. Tap that toe forward to the floor. Drag it back. And tap that toe forward. Drag it back. Always moving that leg through hip height before you lower it down. And again, making sure that you're not arching your back to force this movement to happen. Your hips and lower back should stay really stable. Let's go for 3. And last 2. And last 1, tap it back, pull it into neutral, and then lengthen your leg to the end of the mat. Drag it in. Lengthen your leg, squeeze your glute. And again, same concept here. You're pressing the floor away. When you lengthen your leg, make sure it ends up in line with your body. Not in front of it, not behind it. Pull your core in. Let's go for another 3. Whew. And last 2, hello, side glute. And last 1, lengthen, lengthen, we lift, hip height. Lift and hip height. Exhale, inhale. Pull your core in. Feel lots of stability working through the core and the hips for 3. and 2. Last one, and lower back down. Oh my goodness, that was super fun. All right, guys, go ahead, flip onto your back before we come into our next sequence. I'm gonna just have you take a quick figure 4 stretch, which is basically just crossing your one ankle over the knee. You can pull that knee into your chest and get a deeper stretch out of it. And you just breathe here, hanging out, holding onto your leg. You can also opt to keep your foot on the floor. That's totally viable as well. And pop your feet back down onto the floor. Let's switch sides. Lots of breath as you let your tailbone sink to the floor. Alrighty, whenever you're ready, we're going to have you guys roll yourself down onto your stomach. You're going to pull your core in, let your arms go long overhead. Arms are pretty much next to your ears, but you're not like crunching anything. Pull your core in as if you have an ice cube underneath your abdomen. Squeeze your glutes and lengthen your legs so much that you just feel a lot of tension shooting out of the tips of your toes. And I want you to keep the tops of your feet connected to the floor as you pull your core in and up and lift your right arm up to next to your ear. Lower back down. Left arm lifts and lower. Feeling that sensation of length from your fingertips, trace all the way down your body. We inhale and exhale. Let's go for another 4. And last 3. Last 2. And last 1, lower back down. And now we do double arm lift and lower. Really emphasize that glute squeeze here. Don't worry about how high you bring this movement. Think about how strong it is in your core. Lifting through the core, lower back down. Lift and lower. Tons of strength. Squeeze your legs. Every muscle in your leg contracts. Your upper back is strong. For 3 and 2. Last one, lower back down. Tuck your hands underneath your chin. Make yourself a little pillow. We're going to keep your core really strong as you lift your right leg. Lower back down. Left leg lifts. Lower back down. You're going to keep your hip bones pressing into the floor. Try not to rotate onto one side. You exhale, inhale. Check in with your core. Make sure it's pulling inward. We have last 3 and last 2 and last 1. Double leg lift. Squeeze both legs up and down. Up and down. Keep going. We lift and lower. Let's go 4. And last 3. Lengthen your legs. Last 2. And last 1. Lower back down. Bend your knees super lazy. Rock your knees side to side. Super lazy. Like let your hips lift. Let yourself just kind of rotate around. Breathe here for me. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Alrighty, last thing we're coming up to is a little bit more side work. Now coming up onto your elbow. I'm starting left side down, right side up. Knees and ankles are stacked. My top arm is going to come up around my ear. Elbow is going to be high and wide. I'm going to lengthen my top leg down so that it's in line with my body. My top of the foot is facing you guys, so my foot is in parallel. On your exhale, I want you to lift up. You're going to rotate your knee up towards the ceiling. tap your elbow to your knee, and then lengthen out, pop the toe back down, and then repeat, rotate, tap. And you see I'm kind of getting like a little bit of a side crunch going on here. That's totally cool. That's exactly what we want. We want to get a little rotation in the spine. Exhale. Inhale. Let's go for another 3 more. Exhale. Inhale. We've got last 2. Exhale. Inhale. Last one. Rotate. Hold it here for me. Hold this crunch in your core, in your arm. Shoot your leg long. Drag it back to your elbow. Shoot and drag. Keep that tension in your core for 3, 2, 1. Pull the knee in, lower back down. Ooh, that was a fun one. All right, let's swoop on over to the opposite side, and we are going to end off the day with this lovely little side series. So, knees and ankles are stacked, pulling the core in and up. We lengthen the top leg, the top of the foot is facing you in parallel. Arm comes to the side of the head. And then we externally rotate, tap that knee to elbow, and then come back to this wide open parallel. And then externally rotate, tap. And every time you pull up, I want you to engage with the core, engage with your obliques, with your transverse abdominis, the front of the abs. Exhale. And inhale. We're just going to go for 3 more. Exhale. Inhale. Last 2. Exhale. Last one. Hold it here. Find that really deep core connection. Shoot the leg long. Drag it in. Shoot and drag. Inhale. Exhale. We have 3, 2, 1. Drag that knee back in, lower it down, and oh my goodness, lovely, lovely, lovely. Let's go ahead and have you guys come up to a seated position. We'll end off in a little butterfly. Soles of the feet together. Nose comes down to your toes. Open up the hips, open up the back. Breathe into this. Drop your head, your neck, your shoulders. Roll yourself up to a seated position. You can keep your feet in butterfly or feel free to take them into crisscross, whichever works for you. You're going to drop your neck, drop your ear over to one shoulder, keeping your shoulders low away from your ears. And then drop your ear to the opposite shoulder. And then switch sides one more time. And then switch sides one more time. Sit up nice and tall, roll the shoulders back for me a couple of times. And my dears, that is going to be the day. Thank you guys so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed it.